right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. I drove these people. It was a whole carload of people all the way up to Mount Pleasant. And I was totally racist after it. Okay, so I dropped these people off, and all the way back, I was considering joining the Klan because it was black old people. And I let them out of the car, and I got their bags, and I walked them up, and he goes, "Thank you, sir," and he walks away. And I drove home with the window down, screaming the N-word. I was so pissed off. So that whole trip back, I was considering joining the Klan and being actually hurting people. Like I was going to say that Martin Luther King Jr. was an asshole or something like that. And, you know, thank God that feeling subsided because there's not a racist bone in me. But that whole trip back, I was a total racist. Totally. Oh, my God. It was like a totally different person. I was like, what the fuck is going on with me? Anyway, got the car back, parked it, good to go. Racism gone. Bread Bowl Brain Chris says, I should have said, how about a little something for the effort? I never once asked for a tip. Never. Never once. Tyler says EZ attached a Confederate flag on the limo antenna after that trip. Oh, yeah. Big time. I was like, put up the Robert E. Lee statues. By the way, I'm kidding. These are all jokes. If any of you take this the wrong way, fuck off. There's no way that there's anything other than ridiculous about all this. My God. I don't want to be in a world where you're getting all pissed off. Tyler says Megan says my wasn't at you, Eric. Oh, I know that. But I'm always because Stevie wrote wow. Now, I can't tell tone, but relax. All right. I'm not really a racist. I mean, I was only racist for that trip back, so it's cool. Patrick said a comment that's probably going to get people get pissed off at you for that. I wouldn't say that. Stevie said she wasn't directing it at me. She was directing it at Patrick. Patrick took the heat off me because he actually made a racist comment, like in print. At least what I said is gone like a fart in the wind. Patrick's racist crack there is like, it seems real. So if I had said anything that people were like pissed off at, Patrick takes the heat off me with his comment, which I can't even read. Okay? All right. I want you to, I'm going to take a break, but before I do, thank you to everybody who is joining me on Facebook and YouTube and Kick. The rest of the show is on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live if you want the rest of this free show. I have two platforms. I have Twitch and I have Patreon. Twitch is free. Patreon is not. Well, except for the 7 days free. So follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live, and then you will know when I go live, and then you won't get the show interrupted like I'm about to for the folks on Facebook, YouTube, and Kick. You can reach out to me on the email, Eric@ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. Eric@ericzaneshow.com for any of your correspondence. God, what the fuck is wrong with me? Okay. So I will be back. Hang with me, and I will continue the show momentarily. Rebecca says it's a shame Eric remembered to loop the music. We could be talking about that. Yeah, I'm on a roll. Patrick says, I worked at a Cracker Barrel when I was 20, and my black coworkers did not want me to seat other black customers because of that. Earlier, Patrick had said black people are notoriously bad tippers. No, I don't know anything about that. The only thing I know is that when I took these black people up to the fucking casino, they were black and old, and they did not give me a tip. So, do we have enough evidence for a study here to show that old black people do not tip? Now, so Patrick's working at the Cracker Barrel. He's 20 years old. Black people come in. Now, were these old black people or were they just black people? What's going on? Now, Becca Shea here is married to a black guy. So, she would know whether he tips or not. And I'm assuming he tips fine. But I don't know. Maybe he is the outlier. Maybe he's the only black guy who tips. I am assuming here that Kevin is a great tipper. But maybe he is the only American black guy to give a tip. I would guess not. I would guess that there is no truth to black people are bad tippers. I'm going to guess it's old people. Like, you know, they give you a nickel. I don't think it has to do with, like, color of skin. I think it would have to do with now that Patrick has to confirm or deny whether or not it's old people. And I don't think all old people are bad tippers. But if you get a bad tip, there's a higher percentage chance it's going to be from an old person. All right? That's just my gut feeling here. So I'm trying to give Patrick the benefit of the doubt here. He did work in the industry, and he had other black people who worked at the restaurant say, we don't want any black people seated in our sections. That's pretty tough to outrun if you have black people saying, don't seat black people. Okay? Megan says it's a weird thing to say out loud without any context. Honestly, with context, it's a weird thing to say. Well, I think without any context, like that first comment that he made, that black people are notoriously bad tippers. Yes, I agree with you that is a weird thing to say without context. The context he gave, though, I think is still under scrutiny, but I think it does kind of soften that to some degree. All right? That's what I think. Maureen says, I'm assuming Patrick was a host who seated customers and his black coworkers asked him not to seat black customers at their tables. I don't consider Patrick a racist. No, nor do I. I don't at all. Rebecca says old people are notoriously, she says, let's blame it on their age and not the color of their skin. Well, look, I don't think it is okay to attack old people. We know that. You cannot attack black people, but you can attack the elderly. It is still okay to do that. Like, if I said, you old fuck, that's okay. But instead of the word old, I used a different term in the descriptor when it comes to the other insult. All right? That's a problem. If I replaced old with black, that's a disaster. I would never dream of saying that. But it is okay to attack old people. You got to understand, I do have old audience members. Maureen and Linda, the gruesome twosome. These two are elderly. So I don't know if that's right either. I think what we're having here is, that doesn't make it right, but it still happens. Kevin is a great tipper. Megan says, this is weird. I know. I didn't do it, though. Don't blame me. Becca Shea says, no, I used to cut hair, and notoriously old people do not tip well. About 20% of younger people tip very well. Bread Bull Brain Chris says it's almost okay to start attacking Jewish people these days. Well, no, I can't agree with that. About the extent of what you can say is that under the lens of the, what do you call it, Palestinian genocide, then you can attack Jewish people. All right. Now, I want some credit for being able to handle the tough topics. I completely was able to unpack Patrick's racist comment he made. Though Patrick is not a racist, all right, that was a horribly racist crack that he made because he's a dumb fuck. That's what happened there. And only a skilled professional like me can tackle that. You know, not everybody would do that. Most people would just ignore that it happened, and then everybody in the chat would beat up Patrick. Patrick is far from a racist, but that's a stupid fuck racist comment he made. So in that moment, for those words, he's a total racist. But right now, he's not a racist. And that's just the way it is. Rebecca says, no, how we solve this, pay people a living wage and eliminate tax culture. No, I like it the way it is. Because the way it is right now, ding dong, they work for me for that period of time. And if they do an outstanding job, I'm giving them an outstanding wage. Okay? It is pay for play. That's what that is. It's an incentive to do good work, dummy. That's what you have here. Some of you are talking about minimum tip. Yeah, if they do a shitty job, I'll give them 20%. If they do exceptional work, 25 to 30. Patrick says, I love black people. I said what I said. No, you're good. All right? I totally understand. Horribly ridiculous, inappropriate comment by a guy who loves black people. Yes. All right. Moving on. Snoop announcing a basketball game is one of my new favorite things. I think it was Scott P. who sent this along. Let's get into this video. Snoop announcing Steve Kerr, basketball coach Steve Kerr's ejection is hilarious.
Back him up, GP, back him up, Steve ready to fire on him.
He's already gone.
Steve banging Inglewood right now. Inglewood, get him, Steve. You in Inglewood, Steve? The Arizona Wildcat that came out and look at it.
Okay, that's fantastic. I don't think I could ever get tired of. Becca Shea says I'm so sick of Snoop. I'm not. His talent comes out and shines in these moments. To have that ability to think on his feet like that and be funny like that over just something that he's seen, that's a unique skill.
Back him up, GP, back him up. Steve ready to fire on him.
He's already gone.
Steve banging Inglewood right now. Inglewood, get him, Steve. You in Inglewood, Steve? The Arizona Wildcat that came out and look at it.
What was Snoop jailed for? Didn't he kill like a whole family or something like that? I forgot what he was in prison for. But nobody cares about that. Let's just say, for the sake of this, that he shot up a school. I still think that his ability to be hilarious, in my opinion, makes it that nobody cares if that actually happened. I can't get enough of him. Becca Shea says he is a misogynistic asshole. Uh-oh. Well, now, I didn't know that. Megan says, I love when Snoop and Kevin Hart were at the Olympics. She adds that, Rebecca, I went back and watched Flavor of Love not too long ago. What a train wreck. I loved that. Yeah, he's another good one, Flavor Flav. My God. Alan says, did Steve Kerr's son, Nick, get brought up? Yeah, that's a tricky one. I don't think we've ever gone down that road, but it's true. Steve Kerr, I almost called him Steve Cunt. Steve Kerr's son. I have to be very careful here. His first name is Nick. What kind of sick fuck would do that? If you are, and I think I don't know what he does in basketball. If I am the announcer and Steve Kerr's son, Nick, is like the coach, I am only going to refer to him as Steve Kerr's son, Nick. I'm not even comfortable just saying Nicholas and then using Steve Kerr's last name. It's awful. I think that'd be an interesting question to ask Steve Kerr. What were you? Didn't it occur to you that you were treading in dangerous territory when your son was born and you decided to name him Nick? Didn't that come up? Did anyone say anything? That's awful. We have our very own Kerr. That would be Tyler. Tyler Kerr. He spells it differently. K-E-U-R. Also known as Spooky Tyler. Tyler, do you know if there's anyone in your family with the first name Nick? What the fuck is wrong with people? I mean, and it's not like Steve Kerr is not known. He coaches the Golden State Warriors. Holy shit, is that awful. What an asshole. If I, owned the team and I was getting ready to hire Steve Kerr and I found out at the last minute that He had a son named Nick. I would say I'm voiding the contract offer. All right? Fuck you. Unacceptable. All right, I want to get into a few of these amazing sponsors that help make this show possible. I'm so fortunate to have all of you. Skydive Grand Haven. How about Tony over at Skydive Grand Haven? Amazing dude. So we're going to jump together, you and I. All you need to do is purchase your tandem jump gift certificate at skydivegrandhaven.com. It's $249. Get it at skydivegrandhaven.com. Click where it says shop gift certificates and then buy it. We're going to have an amazing Eric Zane Show podcast air orgy, and I want you to be part of it. Skydivegrandhaven.com. Click shop gift certificates. And when you buy that, you can also buy a package that they shoot photographs of you all the way down. And this is something that you have forever. This is not like some gift that you get. It's a really memorable gift. You know, if you think to what you got for Christmas, you probably already forgot half of the stuff. You will never forget this gift. Whether you're giving it to yourself or someone that you know and love, they will never forget this gift. Skydivegrandhaven.com. Click shop gift certificates. And thank you to skydivegrandhaven.com. Frank Fuss can help you navigate the Affordable Care Act. If you get your insurance from the marketplace or Obamacare, or also known as the Affordable Care Act, you're like, whoa, this is a little tricky now. The law has changed. You're going to need some help with that. Frank Fuss can help you. Head over to appointmentwithfrank.com and he can get you started. That's appointmentwithfrank.com. He can help you with any of the navigating things that you need to make sure that you have the right insurance policy. Or if you're newly freed from the constraints of working for somebody, a.k.a. you got fired, and you need health care, Frank can get you started. Perhaps you're a new small business owner, or perhaps you're in between jobs, or your boss does not offer health insurance. Frank can help you. Head to appointmentwithfrank.com. Cannot forget about my friends at Pinball Land for retro arcade fun. Pinball-land.com. Working on scheduling another great pinball tournament, so much fun, at Pinball Land in Rockford, Michigan. Go there, you give them $9, you play for an hour as much as you can. You give them $15, you play for 2 hours. $20 all day. Pinball-land.com. Hey, this is Eric Zane, and your information is being sold online. You know, the personal stuff. Search your own name. It's surprising what's out there. That's because people are taking your information and they're selling it. I've got a way to make all of your personal information disappear. You are not for sale. Whether you agreed to it or not, that information is available for people to buy and sell. Not okay. It's 100% true. Data brokers make billions selling your private details, and you get nothing. You don't even get a choice. Aura lets you fight back. AURA. They remove your personal data from broker sites and keep it off. Aura also alerts you fast if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura is more than just data broker removal. It's a full digital security suite that protects every part of your life online. Aura gives you a VPN to stay private, antivirus to block threats, a password manager to keep logins safe, and spam call protection to cut off the scammers. Aura also scans the dark web for your most sensitive info like your social security number, bank logins, and passwords, and notifies you instantly if they are exposed. And if your identity is ever stolen, you're backed up by up to $5 million in insurance and 24/7 U.S.-based fraud support to help you recover quickly. And right now, you can try Aura free for 14 days when you visit aura.com/ remove. AURA.com/remove. That's enough time for Aura to start removing your personal information from data broker sites. Sign up today at Aura.com/remove and get the peace of mind that your privacy, identity, and finances are safeguarded. AURA.com/remove. Certain terms apply. See the site for details. Thank you to Kuiper Tree Care. They are in West Michigan. They can help you out with everything that you need when it comes to getting rid of unwanted trees, grinding the stumps, storm damage cleanup, tree trimming, or tree risk assessment. KuiperTreeCare.com, KUIPER, KuiperTreeCare.com. Apparently a small world moment between Becca Shea and Spooky Tyler. Becca knows one of Tyler's family members. That's so nice. I'm glad to hear you guys kind of know each other, like, in a way. See, Tyler, if you had showed up at the corner bar instead of hiding behind the pinball machines while we were all enjoying each other's company because you have crippling shyness, a.k.a. you're a twat, you would have been able to spend time with the multi-talented Becca Shea and her fantastic gift of gab husband, Kevin, who, you know what, I really appreciated him because he took care of all the heavy lifting. I didn't have to say a word. He was owning the room. And Kevin gave a good tip. You hear that, Patrick? Okay, so hang on, I got to sneeze. Pardon me. DoorDash guy is racing through the neighborhood a little bit too fast. You know, it's like 25 mile an hour zone. And if you're going anything over 25 miles an hour in a neighborhood and you have an old person living there that happens to see it, it's the old person's job to do one of two things. Either get annoyed because you're driving 1 mile over the speed limit, or take it to the next level and like shake their fist at the guy as he passes. So this old timer did that. He's a 75-year-old dude. And the story says veteran in coma after DoorDash driver allegedly punched him over a speeding warning. So he's a veteran. And they make this known. I mean, when something bad happens to somebody like this, you got to make sure that you tell everybody that he's a veteran. So they're letting him, he's a veteran. And this really is bad for the DoorDash driver. He's going to get the book thrown at him. But the old timer didn't like the guy racing down the street, or how it doesn't matter if he was going 26 miles an hour or 56 miles an hour. The old guy's shaking his fist at him. You slow down. And DoorDash driver goes, what? What's up? And he goes, yeah, you're driving too fast. Well, the DoorDash driver just slugs him, and down he goes. He goes, and then the DoorDash driver leaves. The guy hits his head as he face plants. He's fucked up. And now he's in a coma. So this is ugly.
Punched him right in the side of the head. My dad fell, never got up, never moved, and the DoorDash driver got back in his vehicle and drove away.
Jen showing up.
Punched him right in
the up over there by that white truck. You can kind of see it. It happens very, very fast.
the side of the head. My dad fell, never got up, never moved, and the DoorDash driver got back in his vehicle and drove away.
Jen Shaw and I had a conversation in front of the hospital where her 75-year-old father, Lloyd Poole, currently looks like this.
Currently looks like shit.
Black eye, and doctors removing part of his skull for emergency brain surgery.
He's not responding. He can't talk. He's not awake.
It's been 5 days, and she says her dad has never fully regained consciousness after collapsing to a punch 40-year-old Ryan Turner, a DoorDash driver, allegedly threw at the 75.
Okay, so they caught the bad guy.
5-year-old father, veteran, and avid volunteer because he told the man nearly half of his age to slow down.
We don't know when he's going to get out of this hospital bed. That may never happen.
Police say Turner admitted to hitting and leaving Lloyd on the side of the street, maintaining he felt threatened when he found himself face-to-face with Poole after having stepped out of his car to confront him. Turner, acknowledging the misdemeanor aggravated assault.
Why did you step out of the car? Why didn't you just say, sorry about that, and then move on? Why does it have to go to that level? Why can't you just say, no problem? It's so much easier. Can you imagine had you, instead of this choice to nearly kill this old timer, your decision was, my bad, sorry about that, and then just slow down? That would have been so much more fun than, killing the guy.
Assault charge in court.
I did.
Court, a place Turner is familiar with, having prior appearances for assault and battery in 2022.
Okay, so he's a psycho.
Pled down to a lesser charge, multiple offenses related to being behind the wheel, something he does for a living, like driving with a suspended license or an invalid one. Turner now facing upwards to 1 year in prison. Posting
1 year, that's it?
bond on Thursday.
Going about his life as normally as can be, and we're definitely not over here.
In a statement, DoorDash calling the incident that happened here off of Barberry Circle and Winding Way Drive unacceptable and appalling, saying that they removed Turner from their platform and are working with local law enforcement to ensure justice for the family.
He's out. He's wandering around, and you just never know. I think you need to be careful because people are unpredictable.
She says she doesn't believe her father, who she describes as a strong man, ever was expecting to be hit, hospitalized, and holding on to his life.
You just don't know with the brain, so we're very concerned. Yeah, we're really worried.
I think generally, most people that work in that industry, Uber driver, Lyft, DoorDash, these are mutants. Typically people who have no skill set at all do this for a living. Basically the bottom of the barrel of society do this. That type of work. There are exceptions. Now, I say that knowing full well that longtime supporter of this show, Jason Terry, this is what he does for a living. He works in that industry, but he goes way back. I think, though, as more time has passed, there have been more and more people in the gig economy, that's what this is called, who are like this, who are animals. And I think that this falls, and I don't know how to police it. If you're DoorDash, if you're Lyft, if you're Uber, how do you do this when basically anybody can just grab their phone and they've got a job doing that? I don't think there's anything that can be done to scrutinize the people who are working for you. Maybe they do that. Maybe they bring in background check because this guy, and perhaps they do. I don't know. I don't know how this guy would have slid through the cracks. At this psychopath who is speeding through a neighborhood. Megan is suggesting that I reach out to our beloved pal Jason Terry. Perhaps I'll do that. I'll have him weigh in via email. When you hear this, buddy, I don't think he's listening live. But my God, what an asshole. Poor dude. All right, I'll call him. I want to call him. Stevie says he felt threatened by a 75-year-old guy. Yeah, that's not going to work. Jason is the world's first gig economy employee. He does it all. Every one of these things. If he doesn't pick up, it's because he's probably punching somebody out. Fairly good chance he's right now beating up an old man.
Hi, thanks for calling. I can't come to the phone right now.
I can't come to the phone. I'm beating up an old man. My God. What an asshole. I saw this one come across my notifications. Grammy-winning gospel singer and pastor. Complete the sentence for me. What am I about to say? First part of the sentence. Grammy-winning gospel singer and pastor. Some of you may know this story. If you know this story, you're not allowed to finish the sentence. But what do you think the rest of that sentence is? The rest of that headline is Grammy-winning gospel singer and pastor. Well, if I'm talking about it, you know it's nothing great. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, touched kids. Rebecca says, arrested for criminal sexual misconduct with a minor. Maureen says, jailed for stealing money from a church. Cole says, is a pedo. Stand by. Some of you are in the ballpark. Accused of sexually abusing a young man. So I don't think technically that this is a minor. The guy is Donnie McClurkin. Isn't it crazy? Of all the names, you're being accused of something terrible, accused of sexually abusing a young man, and the main part of your last name is Lurk. Oh, he was lurking all right. He denied the allegations in the lawsuit, which was filed by a man who says he sought out the pastor after reading his book about overcoming the curse of homosexuality. What are you, Scott Van Pelt? Donnie McClurkin, a Grammy-winning gospel singer and pastor, sexually abused a young man over several years and wrote an apology email declaring himself a dirty old man, according to a new lawsuit. Okay. If Donnie McClurkin sent the apology, that's all you need in court. The guy who was abused, his name is Giuseppe Corletto. He says in his lawsuit he was struggling to reconcile his sexuality with his faith. That's tricky business, by the way. If you are gay and you're trying to weave in faith, that's tough. Because most faiths, most organized religion, they're not going to have it. You got to go to the right church. The only church you can go to is to, there's a couple of them in every community where they're all about gay. And you got to go to that church. Pooh Bear and I went to the gay church. I forget what it was, the Unitarian or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, we were the only people that, like I was born a dude and I was a dude there. You know, I haven't changed my gender. Pooh Bear, same thing. Born a chick, still a chick. Everybody there had switched. The lawsuit he sought out McClurkin back in 2003. The lawsuit says that Giuseppe, then 21, went to McClurkin's church in Long Island after reading the guy's book. Like he wanted to be cured of gay. You know how oftentimes organized religion will say that. You got to be cured of your gay. We're going to try to pray the gay away. It's like, would you stop? That doesn't happen. At the church event, McClurkin talked about being raped as a child, which resonated with me because that's similar to my story, Giuseppe said in an interview with NBC News. He said he was brought to meet with McClurkin after the event, and the man took an immediate interest in him. At first, it was all very innocent and what I thought was mentoring, Giuseppe Corletto said. But now he believes he was being groomed from the start. Boy, I just said pray the gay away, and it says that in this story. McClurkin began to molest Corletto during Pray the Gay Away spiritual sessions. Wow. And the abuse escalated over the next several years. During this time, Corletto worked as McClurkin's assistant and regularly traveled with him, according to the lawsuit. Corletto struggled to process these incidents of sexual abuse as McClurkin was both his mentor and employer, making it difficult for him to speak out about the abuse he had suffered. God, that's fucked up. An attorney for McClurkin, who is now 66, said the allegations are categorically false. After an alleged sexual assault at a Niagara Falls hotel in 2013, the lawsuit says McClurkin wrote Corletto an email apologizing for his actions. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. It's gross. That's it. That's a smoking gun right there. How do you actually try to talk your way out of it in front of a judge if there's a smoking gun saying, "Sorry, I sucked your dick"? This guy's won 3 Grammy Awards. He's sold millions of albums. He's got some cheddar. His path to stardom was paved in part by Oprah, who in 1996 declared his self-titled album as one of her favorite things. All right. There's a lot more to this, but I don't want to get into it. It's a long-ass story. And there are other people that have come forward. Yeah, it's always that way. Whenever you've got the people that are the most religious, okay, who are the most vocal about things like this, you have to always be wonder which one of them is lurking around. Like McClurkin is lurking. He's lurking around, and if you use the word lurking, there's no benefit to that. Say, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just lurking for some green beans here at Family Fare." You can't say that. Anytime you use lurking, that means you want a dick in your ass, or you're going to put your dick in a boy's ass. That's what lurkers do. And his name is, start with the fact that his name is McClurkin, and he's religious, and he's trying to pray the gay away, and he's surrounded by young boys. And holy shit, of course he's into that. Maureen says, "So fucking gross, makes me sick. There's a special place in hell for child abusers and animal abusers." Well, this guy wasn't a child, though. This guy was 21. Becca Shea says, "Did you hear about the Will Smith lawsuit?" No, but I'll look it up. Perhaps that'll be something on the Patreon. By the way, if you ever have a story like that and you think, boy, I wonder if he's got it, send it to me. Or even just a note saying, "Hey, make sure you check this out," or send me the link of it. It's hugely helpful Thank you. Chris adds, lurkin, my gherkin. Nick says, lurkin is nefarious by definition. All right. Before we get to the asshole of the day today, thank you as always to Merchant Automotive. They're online at merchant-automotive.com. If you have a vehicle with a Duramax engine or an Allison transmission, probably a truck, and you need it to be serviced, reach out to Merchant Automotive. They can take care of you. They are in West Michigan, and they can help you with any issue that you have with your vehicle with an Allison or a Duramax. They also have thousands of in-house fabricated kits to help your vehicle's performance if you're a DIY pro. To get more information on this, head over to merchant-automotive.com. Buy now, refinance later with the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Reach out to Mario at 231-332-6505 if you want to get details about getting a mortgage in place right now to make your home purchase. Thank you so much to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. What am I doing? It's not like I had a stroke there. Van Dyke Mortgage, a great team from anywhere in the U.S. The asshole of the day today is McLurkin. Congrats to McLurkin. Nomination for Steve Kerr. No, it's got to be McLurkin. Tyler says, accused of shaking a kid's pecker at church camp. Okay, so if I did that, if I was at church camp and I was a counselor and the kid was standing at the urinal and I said, come on, it's time to go. You got to get back in bed. And I reached around him and grabbed his penis and shook it up and down. And then I put it back into his little trousers, his little whitey-tighty undies. And he was, 10. Do you think that I would be a child molester? Would I be a child molester if I did that? Of course I'd be a child molester. But when you're molested, which I was, you lose sight of that and think, oh, well, whatever. No big deal. And it's true. I mean, I'm not like hurt by it or anything. But I definitely was molested. Various audience members are suggesting that Patrick should be the asshole of the day. And look, that is between you guys and Patrick. Thank you, as always, for being here on the show. I appreciate the support, guys. I'll talk to you later on the Patriot. Have a good one. And by the way, Becca Shea, who is married to Kevin, who's an African-American, says, no, Patrick is fine. So quit fucking virtue signaling, Mrs. Waddalot and Steve.